Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rosie. Before we get started, my throat's hurting pretty bad, so this hopefully won't have as high energy, and if it does, then I'll just deal with the repercussions of yelling a bit, I guess. But I woke up this morning and I hop on Facebook. I'm in a bunch of Dead by Daylight groups on Facebook, okay? And there was a post about object obsession, okay? And I was stunned. Like, I was actually fucking stunned about this post because I thought we were all in agreement on this one. I thought most of the people in this game understood why this perk is broken. I thought we all understood. This is something that even Scott Jund and Otsvara acknowledge is bad for the game. Like, this is something that, like, everybody that's like high level understands that this is fucking broken. Like, I thought we were all in agreement here. Apparently not, ladies and gentlemen. I was stunned at the amount of ignorance about object obsession from this forum. Just absolutely fucking stunned. That literally, like, maybe me and three other people knew what they were talking about. Like that, like everybody else just had their head up their own ass and didn't know anything. Okay, so I thought what we do here is just kind of a perk overview, so we can understand why this perk is so busted. Okay, we need to actually go over it. All right, and the first thing that I wanted to just touch on, but with this miscommunication, is that this perk is not brave. Like, the fucking post started incorrectly. It was like, is anybody else brave enough to run Object of Obsession? Brave. They yeah, I know, right? They actually use the word brave to describe people that run Object of Obsession, which is a fucking joke if you know anything about this game. But let's talk about why these people aren't brave. All right. So Object of Obsession is one of those perks where you think you might know how it works, but you actually need to read it. You actually have to fucking read this perk to understand how it works, alright? A supernatural bond links you to the killer. If you are looking in the killer's direction, your link will reveal your auras to each other. This effect applies only if you are outside the killer's terror radius. As the killer's obsession, this effect applies to a range of 72 meters, otherwise it's 64. Increases your chances of becoming the obsession once per trial. Okay, so you're thinking you might know how this works, okay? Here's the thing. You have to really read it because it actually works exactly how it's written, okay? Because when you read this, you go, wow, a supernatural bond links you to the killer. If you are looking in the killer's direction, your link will reveal your auras to each other, okay? It actually fucking works like that. And the problem is, it's like, wow, well, what are you saying? Well, like, I feel like people get this perk mixed up. I feel like they think this is a genuinely high-risk, high-reward thing. Like, on paper, this, like, what I think people think this perk is when the killer and the survivor's eyes lock, their auras are shown to each other. I feel like that's how people think it works. No. That's not how it works. It works like, it actually works like it says here. If you are looking in the killer's direction, your link will reveal your auras to each other. That sentence is critical to understanding how this perk works, okay? So let's say your opponent is the Trapper, who gets cucked by this perk. We all know that. He's busy. The game just started. He's busy. He goes over and he traps his Ruined Totem. Alright? That's the first thing he does. He doesn't even know you have this perk yet. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna go trap my ruin because that's what I do. I have my tar bottle, and maybe I'll be able to save my totem if I trap it. Okay, so the Trapper goes over, traps his damn totem. His back to you was turned that whole time. You're looking at him. Objects revealing him to you that entire fucking time. Even though he's not looking at you, you can see him. And I don't think I need to explain why you seeing the Trapper put his trap is busted. It doesn't matter if it's blocking a ruined totem or if it's blocking Killer Shack, if it's blocking the main building. I don't think I need to explain why you seeing what Trapper is doing is fundamentally broken. Alright? I don't think I need to explain that to you. I respect your intelligence enough to at least know why, understand why can't talk today. Because I think I respect your intelligence enough to assume you understand why that's OP. So we're just gonna go ahead and fucking move on from that. Okay, however, so if the killer is looking in your direction and your back is turned, or you're hiding your screen from him, does the killer get an aura reveal there? The answer is no. He doesn't. The killer gets jack fucking shit. Okay, so basically, the supernatural link is something, the supernatural bond, it's something that the survivor has full control over. If the survivor wants to hide their aura from the killer, all that survivor has to do is turn the damn camera. And then the core is hidden. So you can watch Trapper set up a trap halfway across the map, predict if he's going to turn around, and then turn back, which would hide the fact that you're even spying on him with this perk. So if the Trapper sets up 2 traps that you saw and he didn't see you, like, the Trapper just wasted his fucking time that you can then communicate to your 4-man Swift group. Alright? Stupid. It's absolutely fucking stupid. But, you know, that's beside the point. So, the killer sees that you have this, okay? He starts beelining over to you because he sees that you have it, okay? All you have to do if he's doing that is hide your aura from him and then reposition yourself. Because then the killer has to make a guess. Well, which way did the fucker go? Did he go left or did he go right? I don't see any scratch marks, so where the fuck did he go? So if the killer guesses wrong, boom, you just broke away and made distance on him. So even if he wants to keep chasing you, he now has to research, and you can potentially just repeat that process forever if you're a stealthy player, but that's not 100% reliable, so any good killer is not going to let that happen. So that's something the killer is not going to let happen. He'll be able to actually start and engage a chase with you. But the problem is he ain't getting that first hit. He's not getting that first hit. If you can't sneak up on anybody. Terror radiuses are at least non-directional, so you can't tell which way he's coming from. Object of obsession is 100% perfect information at all fucking times. You'll never make an incorrect guess when you have object of obsession. It's broken and stupid. The killer can make incorrect guesses, though. The amount of information that it provides to you is like maybe 5% of what the killer gets within a game. The killer gets nothing from this perk. The killer gets nothing but psychological unsatisfaction when he sees you running this fucking perk. Okay? And then, of course, then there's the obvious of, yeah, you can relay all the information at all fucking times. It's broken. I thought we all agreed on this. I thought even survivors understood that, but they don't. So, a bunch of survivor apologists in the comments section were actually defending this fucking perk. Which, I mean, it makes sense. I guess I should have expected that. Survivors literally defended the Infinites in 2016 and said they took skill, and the devs agreed with them. Shows you who the devs actually fucking side with. It took until about 2020 for all these god loops to get patched out of the game. The fact that those loops lasted 4 years reminds you who the devs favor at all times. But, okay, we are going to go over some of the basic arguments that people have actually used to justify this perk and say it's not broken, and why they make no fucking sense. Okay, so, the first one I noticed was this one. It's not as bad as you say, bruh. All these have bruh at the end of them. It's not as bad as you say. Do you play killer, bruh? Do you play killer? Anyone that says object of obsession is not as bad as you say, bruh, has never played against someone who's actually good with it. Nobody. Like, maybe they've killed some scrubs with it at rank 15, maybe. But, like, all in all, you have no experience versus a perk like this. Okay, I've had a lot of matches against this perk, but, like, I've only have had 2 where I played someone that was, actually 3. I played 3 matches where the guy was really, really good with it. Okay? One of them, the guy was obviously in solo queue, because he was, like, the only guy who knew what he was doing. Okay? I killed 2 other people, and then chased him with Oni. It took me, I'll have to find this game and rewatch it. That guy ran me around a nerfed groaning storehouse for, like, I'd say 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Because, like, that's just how it works. When you have an OP perk combined with OP tiles, because the tile spacing was just adjusted at Groaning Storehouse, if you don't know, again, because they didn't fix it the first time. So all he did was just go and drop the fucking pallets, and he abused the God Loop in the center, which is still a God Loop, by the way. But it's not as much anymore because they did take the pallets out, so that helped. But this is a pre-patched Groaning Storehouse, which I consider to be an F-tier map. And then the other, so I actually killed that guy. But then the other two were SWF, and one of them was against, one of my games against a 4-man Object of Obsession was as the Trapper on fucking Hawkins. Bad map for Trapper, combined with the worst perk for him in the game, with a 4-man Swift. You can imagine how that went. And the other game was against the Hag, was as the Hag on a pre-patched Torment Creek, with a 4-man Swift. That game probably lasted about fucking 6 minutes. Because they fucking gen rushed the fucking shit out of me. Like, if you want to say you've had experience against good Object of Obsession SWF, you didn't win that game. Because if you won the game, they weren't actually good. Or they choked. Or you lost the game anyway, and then you punished their over-altruism and actually secured a tie or something. But if you didn't get 4-manned on, you don't actually have experience against good Object of Obsession. It is as bad as we say, bruh. And for you to say it's not means that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have killer experience. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Alright, next. It's useless in solo queue, bruh. Okay, well, first of all, it's not that the perk is useless in solo queue, it's just that the perk isn't as broken as it is in SWF. That element is admittedly lost, the communication element. However, that one survivor that has it in solo queue is still a brick. You still ain't getting that guy if he's good. You ain't getting that guy. No fucking way. You ain't getting that guy. You just not fucking getting him. So that guy's essentially a brick. And bricking out 25% of the team is never good. So the perk is still decent if you know how to use it in solo queue. But it's just not horribly fucking broken. But I mean, it's horribly fucking broken for that one guy. But that one guy doesn't make up the entire team unit. As he does if it's an actual 4-man. So, that guy, like I said, that David was still fucking incredible. And I couldn't get that guy until the very, very end of the game. It basically just guarantees that there's a survivor that bricks you. That's still not terrible in solo queue. I mean, it's not, I mean, I'm sure there's something in solo queue that's more powerful, because solo queue is a different fucking meta. But it's not that Object is bad. It's more of like a B tier perk in solo queue. But like that's not an argument. This is not an argument to justify not changing it. Even it could be the worst perk in the game in solo queue. Much like how the old Dying Light was one of the worst perks in the game for killer. But guess what? They changed it. Not because it was OP, but because it was unhealthy for the game. So they changed it. No reason that can't apply to this stupid perk. Alright, anyway. Next argument. Just be undetectable, bruh. Okay. I hate this argument. Okay. So, okay. After we kept telling the devs that it was stupid to see a cloaked wraith, they finally changed it after a long time. They waited too long to change it, but it turned out that seeing a cloaked wraith, seeing a stealth ghostface, seeing a crouched pig, that was really stupid. So they actually changed it and added the undetectable status effect. Okay? The problem is here that you don't know when Object of Obsession is going to hit you. Like, especially now, where you can't even change killers on the select screen anymore. So, like, now you're counter... Like, if the guy DMs you and says, I'm gonna run Object of Obsession, your best counterplay is to lobby dodge. Rather than switch killers, because you can't switch killers anymore. So, like, what do you want? You want us to play Wraith and Ghostface and Pig and Myers? Not even Myers. Just, you want us to play Pig, Ghostface, and Wraith every single game on the off chance that we might encounter an Object of Obsession. Like, that's stupid. Like that's retarded, bruh. Like, I shouldn't have to sit on one character just because of a perk that I might see every once in a while, because usually the good survivors have an honor code where they don't touch it. Just be undetectable. Stupid. A very, very stupid excuse. And it's also not even good. Like, if you are undetectable, it just becomes a buffed spine chill. Because you not only get, it's just a very, very buffed version of the spine chill, where you can tell if the killer is looking in your direction. It's insanely buffed. Like, you can just look and know which direction the killer is coming from. If the killer's playing a stealth killer, you know you know what direction he's coming from, which is insane. Because it turns off when you're not looking at him, which spine chill wouldn't. So it becomes directional, and it's slightly in like a buffed range. That's incredible. Okay, so like that's not even bad versus them. It's admittedly a little harder to use, but you can still do it. Okay, and so that's out. And then it's like, okay, well, then the other thing you got hit was like, what about all the perks that make you go undetectable? Yeah, you should use those killers. Okay, well, let's run those down real fast, bruh. You have Trail of Torment, a perk that literally lets you know it's in the game. Nice undetectable, bruh. A Trail of Torment can also still be potentially turned off in 10 seconds. So, like, that's not reliable undetectable. That's not a reliable way to shield your presence. You can be turned off in 10 seconds, and it has a cooldown. So you're still leaving all this time on the fucking table anyway, because the damn thing has a cooldown. And you're going to average play around 20 to 40 seconds with that perk. Maybe even less. I don't know. I haven't run it yet. I'm going to test it. I still haven't gotten around to that. But my guess is an average between 20 and 40 seconds. So you still ain't getting too much with that. And then you have to deal with the cooldown. So the object guy has 80 fucking years to tell everybody what you're doing in the meantime. So that perks out. Okay, what's next? Dark Devotion. You think you're going to hit the guy with Object of Obsession to get undetectable for 30 seconds? Yeah, You're gonna actually hit that guy. Right. Okay, so I don't think I need to explain why that's bad. Okay, the next. Tinkerer. Admittedly the one with the most potential for dealing with Object of Obsession, but here's the thing. If you have Tinkerer, your route is still clear to everybody. It's the big weakness of Tinkerer. The undetectable doesn't help you that much when you're Tinkerer. I don't like Tinkerer, okay? I'm just gonna be a little honest with that. I think Tinkerer is massively overrated. But because my point is, if you're playing a coordinated SWF that knows you have Tinkerer and they have a gen at 70%, what the fuck do you think they're looking for, bruh? They can predict where you're going next. The thing with perks like Tinkerer and Pop is it makes the killer's plays robotic. It makes the killer easily predictable. So that's the weakness of stuff like that. So basically, yeah, you can't see them, but any good SWF, it knows you have Tinker, they know what the fuck your next play is anyway. So that perks out, because they know what you're going to do anyway. All they got to do is have good eyes at that point, which anyone that's in a 4-man will have good eyes, I promise. What other perks do it? Fucking Beast of Prey? When you're chasing someone with Bloodlust, then you get undetectable. Wow, that's going to be good for moving around the map. How about another one that's going to move around the map? Insidious. Yeah, this doesn't work, bruh. This just... the fucking... And then the same thing, like... Oh, you expect me to bring those perks that would be useless in, like, 99% of situations? I guess Tinker is still the best one, but, like, that's not saying much. You expect me to bring those perks for a perk that might not even be in the match? Like, yeah, bad. Just bad. You can't expect killers to do that. That's pathetic. That you would even say, well, this one perk is horribly broken, but since you technically have something that can stop it for 15 seconds, you should just equip that. Okay, killers are in a position where if they're not running like 3 of their 4 meta perks every match, they're gonna die in 10 seconds. I promise. So like, killers don't really have room to just play around with builds and experiment. See, when you're a survivor and you have 16 perks in one match, it's easier to say, you know what, I'm going to try something a little off meta. When you're the killer and you get 4, trying something a little off meta is not exactly recommended. And no, you can't beat good SWF without meta perks. You can't. Sorry, Oatsfara. You just can't. You can beat babies. Like, dude, I can take Perkless Clown and probably win 35 out of 50 games. I probably can do that. Because the survivors at Red Rank are just terrible. So, like, yeah, I could probably do that. That doesn't mean that it's viable. Absolutely not. Those win streak videos, a joke. But that's the thing for another day. So, yeah, and this kind of goes along with the next one. It just inflict blindness, bruh. Well, there's some add-ons. Some guy literally said this. Like, you could just run Hex the Third Seal, or, and just bring some add-ons that inflict some blindness. Oh, okay. So the pig is gonna bring an add-on that gives you the blindness status effect when you're in a trap, just to deal with Object of Obsession. Yeah. That makes her worse, because you're not running anything good. Or the Wraith is gonna give up a Windstorm add-on, or give up the Bell to, inflict blindness on you. I guess the Wraith's a bad example, because he's, doesn't Clown have blindness? Like, you can't expect killers to run this shit, when killers have to be running, like, everything they can to, like, deal with the Gen Rush meta. We have to run stuff that, like, it's gonna help us in 100% of our games, versus that small percentage of time that we see something broken that shouldn't exist. Like just inflict blindness, bruh, is super bad. Now, this admittedly sparked a discussion about Hex the Third Seal, that's why I opted out, because I'm not talking about Hex the Third Seal, because that perk is just garbage. But just inflict blindness, bruh, is again asking killers to change their base kit to accommodate something that just should not exist. Also, Hex the Third Seal, you gotta hit the guy with Object of Obsession. And, yeah, how you doing that? You ain't hitting that guy. You ain't hitting that guy if he's good. And it's like, oh, okay, then, next one. Just ignore the guy, bruh. This is my favorite because Almo fucking said it literally on stream. It's like, Object's not that powerful. Just ignore the guy, bruh. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about what happens if you ignore the guy with Object of Obsession. Okay, if he's in a solo queue, not much. It happens, admittedly. It's not a big deal. Ignore the guy in solo queue is not that big of a deal. But who's running Object in solo queue? The majority of people are running this perk when they're with their friends. Okay? And so what's happening if you ignore the guy when he's with his friends? Killer's coming up the stairs to disturb ward to check the gen. He's coming up, guys. Drop down. I'm at the Killer Shack halfway across the map. I can see him. He's coming right up there. If you choose to ignore the guy, you are getting your position revealed permanently the entire game. It's giving every survivor the perk if you choose to ignore the guy. So you can't, or you'll lose, because you'll never be able to get first hits on anybody. Which means everybody gets longer chase time inherently. Every survivor makes better decisions because this perk's in the game. Every single one. Every survivor is able to tell what the killer is doing and what direction he's coming from because this perk's in the game. So ignoring the guy is not really an option. But you can't really chase him either. Because if you chase him, guess what happens? He's gonna fucking kite you around the fucking map for 4 gens. Until you down him. And then I remember the other one I got was, oh, you'll get him eventually. And I'm like, motherfucker, we don't need to get him eventually. We needed to get him yesterday. We needed to get him before we found him. We needed to get him as soon as the game spawned in. As soon as we spawned in, that's when we needed to get him. But then we had to find him, and now we have to hit him twice. So we needed to get him yesterday, but we're just now getting around to it. And then we have to wait maybe another minute to actually do it. It's like, wow, you got the guy. Impressive. Great job. 3 gens are done on your first hook. Terrible. Like, yeah, that's not happening, bruh. Put you in a lose-lose situation just because the perk exists. Can't nerf it because not everyone is good with it, bruh. Okay, I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to answer it with a question. If we can't nerf it because not everyone was good with it, why did we nerf anything? Why was Omega Blink Nurse hit? I wasn't good with Omega Blink Nurse. If I slapped on Omega Blink Nurse, I would get 4-man escaped on because I can't play her. So I'm not good with Omega Blink Nurse. Why did we change that? Why did we change Gen Grabbing Spirit? I never tried that either. I would probably be bad with it. I wasn't very good with Gen Grabbing Spirit. I wasn't ever a good Billy. Why did we nerf that? Why did we nerf Insta-Saw Billy? Why did we nerf that? I wasn't very good with it. Why did we change anything? A majority of players that play the game aren't good. So why did we change anything? Why did we change the God Loops? The majority of survivors got down with them anyway. Why did we change those? It's like, when you can literally justify the existence of anything by saying that not everyone's good with it, bruh. And it's a good thing other games don't use this balancing philosophy. See, here's the thing. People don't like comparing Dead by Daylight to other games because my point of view starts making way more sense when you do so. So you can't give that to me. That's why nobody does it. Because when you start saying You can't, like, when I start making valid points about how your first Smash opponent shouldn't be NK Leo, just like your first Mortal Kombat opponent shouldn't be Sonic Fox, and your first Nurse game shouldn't be against 4-Man Swift, they say you can't do that. Well, the reason that you can't do that is because if you give that to me, I sound correct. And you know why I sound correct? Because I am correct. That's why I sound correct, because I am correct. But it's a good thing that Nintendo didn't have this philosophy, because they nerfed Sheik in Smash 4. Back when Sheik was too good. Of course, Bayonetta and Cloud, a whole other story. But, like, when Sheik was OP, and Sheik was tearing everybody up, and Sheik wasn't fair, wow, but a majority of Sheiks were bad, and only, like, 4 pros played her correctly. But they nerfed Sheik because it was the right thing to do. Sheik was OP. It didn't, like, but... Exactly. They nerfed Sheik because she was OP. It didn't matter that 4 people played her. And it's a good thing that they have that philosophy or we wouldn't have gotten any changes. Okay? They nerfed Bayonetta in between Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate because it doesn't matter that scrubs couldn't play her. It doesn't matter that it doesn't matter because if you're good, you exploit her. Stupid. And a lot of, like, they nerfed Cloud for the same reason. A lot of Cloud players online suck dick and you could beat them with fucking Little Mac. But it didn't matter. They got rid of them because they got rid of him at top level. Okay, they can get rid of him, he's still good. But they toned him down because he was OP. And everybody knew it. You can literally justify the existence of anything by saying bad players use it and they're not good with it. It's no different here. No different here. This perk is broken, alright? And I hope this dissertation help you understand it a little bit more so you don't sound like an idiot on the internet. GG, gamers.